Hello, welcome to the Dr. Deer Show live on Facebook. How are y'all tonight? Come on in on this Friday evening. Yeah. So we already know what the topic is tonight. When should your child stop bathing? When should a child stop bathing? Child stop bathing with their parents. Yeah, that's it. Come on in, come on in, come on in. How are y'all doing this Friday evening? Come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. Come on in, come on in. I'm messing with this camera of mine. Yep. So yeah, our topic is when should a child stop bathing with their parents? Come on in, come on in, come on in. Long day, long day. How are y'all out there? For people who are listening, how are y'all? How are y'all? Come on in. And when you come in, share. Please. Hope everybody had a great Friday. I did. I just finished working out. We had a great workout in the gym. The energy was high. We stayed 6 feet apart. I sprayed the room down with Lysol as much as I could. But yeah. Anyway, come on in. Come on in. Let's get this conversation started. Yep. Oh, I hopped in. Come on in. Come on in. Oops. I think like 3 or 4. Hey, Heather. Hey, Tanya. Hey, cuz. Come on in and we'll start the conversation when a few more people come in. Yep. Come on in. Come on in. The topic is when should a child stop bathing with their parents? That's what we are talking about tonight. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Yep, Heather, I like that. Like 3 or 4, but you have to supervise that they get clean. Yes. Come on in. Come on in. Oh, did that go? Yep. Happy Friday. We made it through the week. The time to start the weekend. I don't know why my new camera's not working anymore. It was working last week. Now it's just not going to work. Yes, so the topic is tonight. When should children stop bathing with their parents? Or does it matter if it's a father bathing a daughter, a mother bathing a son? Does any of that stuff matter? And what age? We have a few people who already put in their age bracket, waiting for other people to come in. But that's the question for tonight: is when should a child stop bathing with their parents? I was looking for some stuff that I put on my phone to talk about this stuff. Okay, so yeah. Come on in, come on in. We will get started in a second. Hold on just a second. Make sure I hear this. Yeah. Back. Yep. How are y'all out there tonight? Happy Friday. So let's get started. Okay. So this question is, when should a child stop bathing with their parents? I think me and a friend were having this conversation. I don't know how we got on this conversation, but this topic came up of when should a child stop bathing with their parents? Because I could see where there could be an issue when a father is bathing with the daughter and then she sees his private part and start wondering what that is, or a son is bathing with his mother and notices her body parts that he doesn't have and starts wondering what that is. And so I'm still trying to remember how I got on this conversation with a friend of mine, but we got on it. And so I was like, oh, that'll be a good topic of discussion. And so Heather already said that she thinks it's like 3 or 4 that a child should stop bathing with their parents. Because her point was, and she makes a good point, is that because you have to supervise them that they get clean. So, but when do you let the child decide when they stop bathing with you, or do you decide whether to stop bathing with that child? And then if they're older, what impact does that have on them? And what potential problems could arise if you're 10 years old and you're a 10-year-old boy and you're bathing with your mother, or you're a 10-year-old girl and you're bathing with your father? What potential problems could arise from that type of situation, if any? What are your thoughts out there? And so I did some research on this, which is why I'm trying to pull it up right now. And parents, Heather says, parents' decision totally. Okay. Well, I was reading somewhere, Heather, where they were saying like a lot of parents were letting the children decide, because they were saying just, once the child starts feeling uncomfortable with being nude in front of the parents, that's when, that decision should be made. So why do you think the parents should make the decision, Heather? And so one parent, I was looking through these different articles, and one parent says, I think you shouldn't bathe with your children. Okay, well, at the very least, if it's a baby who can't wash himself, you can help him, but please keep your clothing on. But when it's a 10-year-old, for example, that's where it becomes inappropriate. Do you agree with that statement? I'm mad that my new camera's not working right. Let me stay focused. And Mike says, hey, Mike, from what I've seen, the average children, you said, from what I've seen, the average child brings it to the parents. They would like to bathe alone like a grown-up. Okay. So you agree, Mike, that the child probably when they get to that certain point, they're like, okay, yeah, I want to take a shower alone. And Heather says the child may not want to upset the parent. parenting is having good discernment about their child's needs. Okay. Because there is a lot of lessons to be learned when you're bathing with your child. They can learn how to properly bathe. Kind of what Heather was saying earlier is that you have to make sure that the child is cleaning themselves properly. So there's some lessons that the child learns in the bathroom alone, like how to take a shower, how to take a bath, how to use soap, how to use the washcloth, how to use the bathroom properly, how to brush their teeth, all of those type of things. But I think if a child starts touching around on, say, for instance, if it's a little girl and she starts touching on her dad's private parts or whatever, I think it's time to cut that off, in my opinion. Or same with a little boy, if he starts touching on the mom's private parts, I think that's a time to stop. What do you think the potential problems could be if you bathe the child like past 10 years old? And Karen says, you, the parent, decide. You kind of agree with Heather, Karen. You, the parent, decides when that stops. I'm not sure what age to stop. I'm thinking once the child starts pointing at body parts and speaking in nearly complete sentences. Yeah, Karen, because I think at that point they're discovering, hey, the little girl be like, hey, maybe dad has this part. What is that? Or the little boy's like, mom has these things. What does that look like? So what could be potential problems if, I think I was doing some reading through some articles, and I saw somebody was like at age 10, their child was still doing that. I'm thinking, I don't know about that one. Heather says that openness at home will not be well received on the playground. Exactly. Like, so your child can't be out there exploring with the opposite sex because they saw daddy or they saw mommy in the bathroom, and so now they want to know what other little boys or little girls have out there. So yeah, I could see, Heather, where that could get kind of inappropriate, and then you as a parent are going to get called by some other parent to talk to your child about. Yeah, that could go wrong. Mike says that's only great if the child is being bathed by the same sex. What do you mean, Mike? That's only great if the child is being bathed by the same sex. So you're saying it's good that they're bathed by the same sex because you have the same parts. So there's really not going to be any exploration. But when it becomes the opposite sex, like for me, and I know this is probably biased, that I don't think little girls should bathe with their dad. I mean, as infants and probably to a certain age, yeah. But after a while, I would think that would be inappropriate. And probably the same, I guess women can say that for boys too, but that's my thing. I want y'all to hear what this one person said online, like where this could lead, and see if you agree. They said, I think you shouldn't bathe with your children. Well, okay, at the very least, if it's a baby who can't wash himself, you can help him, but please keep your clothing on. But when it's a 10-year-old, for example, that's where it becomes inappropriate. First, you not only expose yourself to your children, indecent exposure, but you also install an incestuous and pedophilic climate. Do y'all agree with that? Do you think after a certain age that you introduce pedophilia and kind of incest? That's what this person said online. If you're still bathing with your child and they're like 10 years old, what do you think about that? Do you think I'll type that up. Do you think that if the child is older than 10, you could be introducing them to incest type stuff or pedophilia? I'm just gonna say Yeah. At some point, the child has to take on a sense of responsibility to clean themselves. Yep, I get that, but some children, and I hate to say that about children, but they can be pretty nasty if you don't, watch them, Mike. If you don't make sure they're washing themselves, they'll just get in the water and get out. And then next thing you know. So you do have to watch children from oh, so Tanisha says, hey Tanisha. Tanisha says she does agree with the incest portion of what that person said online, because they believe that, I'll put that there. I'll put that up. So yeah, do you think the incest piece could potentially, yeah? Because if that child goes to school and starts saying, "Oh yeah, I'm 10 years old and I still take baths with my dad, and I touch on him or whatever," you're gonna get calls from the school because they're gonna be like, "What is going on at home?" So I just wonder what kind of damage, or if any, does this do to children when they're bathing, or does it even impact their lives at all? Who knows? Tanisha, I see you joined on YouTube, huh? Good, you and Karen. So yeah, the topic again. So the general rule of thumb that I saw online, that I saw a lot of psychiatrists and psychologists stating, is that the general rule of thumb is by the time children reach school age, around 5 or 6, that they should stop bathing with their parents. So that's what the experts say, that is a good age that children should stop bathing with their parents. So do y'all agree or disagree with that? I know Heather said age 3 or 4, I think. Yeah, I think she said 3 or 4. Yeah. So what potential problems do y'all think? Or is it even a problem, or we just blowing this out of proportion? And there's some benefits, like I said earlier, there's some benefits to parents taking baths with their children, especially if it's a parent who doesn't have a lot of time. She can knock out, or he can knock out bath time all at one time with all the kids in the shower with him or her, and they can take the bath and get it over with and get that chore out the way and have more time to do other things. So that's one benefit. And like I said, the other benefit is teaching the child how to clean themselves appropriately. And I know, like Mike said, there is a time where you just have to let the child learn how to clean themselves on their own. Yep. And I get that too. So Mike says, I don't agree with the incest, because growing up, we all have bathed with family members and even acted out certain sexual things with cuz our own age. That's true. There is a natural part of exploration that's just going to take place that kids do. And I don't think you want to, and I agree with that, Mike. I don't think you want to hinder that, because that's an important part of development as a child. So, I don't think you want to hinder that. But I think, like, I agree with the experts. Probably by age 5, the bath time stuff should probably stop, because at that point you kind of know what you got. If you're a male, you know what you got. If you're female, you know what you got, and you know that the opposite sex has something different. And then, yeah. But this all depends on the whole family, though, too. Like, you as a mother have to observe the interactions between your children and their father, and vice versa. And the father has to supervise and make sure mom's not in there doing anything weird, because you never know who has a mental problem or who has issues. And so you probably want to monitor, even if it's your family members, you want to monitor what's going on if that child is underage. So Karen says, I would say it's possible if they are 8 or older, let alone 10 years old. Young children have not developed reasoning skills, and once they start going to school and are socializing outside of the home. So yeah, Karen, so you're saying that once they're 8 to 10 years old, older, that they probably shouldn't be taking baths with their parents. Yeah, I think that's a little too old, you know. But it's up to the parent, because I know some people who are just really comfortable walking around naked. They come out of their room naked. They don't care who's sitting in their living room. They'll come out, they'll say, "Hey, how are you?" And then, some people are really, really shy and don't. So I think it depends on that household too. Like, whatever you feel is appropriate in your home. What do you think it could lead? I mean, what problems do you think? I know we said incest, or the potential somebody being a pedophile or something. All of that is possible. So I posted Karen's up there. But again, like I said, let me see what else this person said online. Yeah. And so somebody said, note that there are cases where parents who sexually abuse their own children, who started by grooming them while bathing them. So that's another potential problem too. Now I'll type that out here. So there are cases. No problem. There are cases of parents who sexually abuse their own children, who started by grooming their children. Let's see if I typed that right. There are cases of parents who sexually abuse their children, who sexually abuse their own children, who started by grooming their children. So there were cases where the parents started. This is how it started with the parent just bathing their children, and then it turned into something else that it shouldn't have turned into. I am dehydrated from that workout and that hot. So any other thoughts out there? Y'all are quiet tonight. Any thoughts on anything that we haven't discussed? Again, like I said, the experts are saying that a general rule of thumb for is by the time children reach school age, around 5 years old, that they should stop bathing with their parents. I agree with what you said earlier about each parent should check on how the other parent is acting while bathing the child. Yes, Karen, because you never know. I mean, it happens all the time. Like I just posted, there are cases where that simple bathing issue turned into something more than that. So yeah, you have to watch that. Anything else on this topic? Y'all are quiet tonight. Maybe everybody's traveling. I keep forgetting holidays and all of that stuff that's going on, which is fine. So we got about 5 more minutes on this topic, and then we will be out so that you can enjoy the rest of your Friday evening. what I want you to take away from this show, this particular show, is that if you have children, or you know somebody that have children and they have this question, share this video with them. Like I said, the experts say that the rule of thumb is that by the time children reach a school age of 5, that they probably should stop bathing with their parents. Yeah. Anything else before we head out? Any topics you want to discuss for the next show? You can always send them to me. Tell us some of the research. Right. So what I did find was that, Cameron, the first thing was that, the rule of thumb is, for one expert said, once the children reach a school age of 5, that you should stop bathing with them. Another expert said you should let the child tell you when they feel uncomfortable with it, because, some kids will be like, okay, Mom, I'm going to take a bath by myself, or okay, Dad, I'm going to take a shower by myself, or whatever. So that was one thing another expert said. And then the other research that I found was all the benefits, which I kind of talked about earlier, the benefits of the child being in the bathtub with their parents. It's almost like social learning. You're learning from your environment. The child's learning how to bathe, how to clean themselves correctly, how to use the body parts. Say, for instance, if they're a male and they're there with their dad, and the dad is using the bathroom, the son can watch that and then mimic that and use the bathroom. So there's a lot of lessons that could be learned from the children being in the bathroom. And so that's a lot of the research is out there. But predominantly, most of the research is saying is at the parents' discretion of when they should stop allowing the child to bathe with the parent. So that's the research that I found. Not a lot of, there was some strange stuff out there where people were asking questions like, I'm still bathing with my 16-year-old and things like that. And that's a whole nother topic. But yeah, the research is saying rule of thumb, probably school age 5, or when it becomes uncomfortable. But it's basically up to the family and the dynamics. Like I said, some people like nudity and they walk around their house nude in front of their kids. And I don't know if you guys seen that video where there's a Zoom call. The child is on the call with her school, and then I think it's a mom or something is in the background, totally nude, totally nude, and the teacher's like, "Oh my God, such and such, shut your camera off. Somebody back there naked," or whatever. So the teacher sees this parent in the background, and the parent is just. It looks like the kid is probably like maybe 3 or 4 or 5. The kid's looking like looking at the teacher like, what do you want me to do? And the mom is in the background just walking around nude. So that was funny. Did you see that, Tanisha? It was funny. It's on Facebook. It's a clip that keeps coming by. But yeah, some parents, some households are like that. People freely walk around nude. So basically it's up to the judgment of the parents. Karen says, I've never even thought about the benefits of the child learning about their body during bath time. Yep. It's called social learning. You learn from your environment. That's why I'm always talking about when I'm working with my clients, I always go back to childhood, because you learn so much from your parents when you're growing up. And I think it's done subconsciously, but a lot of it is social learning. You learn how to brush your teeth and how to use the bathroom and how to make sure you wash yourself properly. That's when you see some adults who haven't had that attachment stuff with their parents. They don't know how to do stuff. They don't put on deodorant. They don't take a bath properly. They may think washing their face is appropriate. I guess this is where that impact of not having that could impact the child when they grow up. It's not knowing how to do the basic things of taking care of yourself. Not knowing, if your parent didn't show you how to put on deodorant every day, that may explain the musty people you run into on a daily basis. Who knows? But yep. Anyway, so that's all I have on this topic. Don't want to keep you. Want you to be able to enjoy your Friday night. It's been 30 minutes, 30 something minutes. So good topic. If you have any topics, shoot me an email, send it to the chat. Karen says, my dad took on that role with the boys. My mom taught daughters everything. Okay, good. Yeah, see, so that's how some families are functioning. And then, again, like you said, on the flip side, some of the families are free willing it out there. Or what do they call it when you don't wear underwear? I forgot what it's called. Freestyle or something. I forgot. Anyway, it's been a great show. Great Friday. Go and enjoy the rest of your Friday. Be safe. Wear your mask. Social distance as much as possible. And I will see you on next Friday, I think, or is that a holiday? We'll get back to you on that one. But anyway, have a good night. Thank you all for joining, and I will talk to you all later. Commando. That's it, Karen. No underwear. I knew it. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Going commando. Yeah. So anyway, y'all, it's been nice, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.